Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this video that I'm doing today, where I'm going to be taking a look at 3 maps to try and hopefully give my fellow multiplayer people the option of deciding what our next multiplayer map will be. So this map is called Missouri River Bottom. It is a 4X map, and I have looked at this previously on a stream. However, not all of my multiplayer peoples got to see this map in action. So there's obviously there's a couple of houses on the map. I am currently located at this one. However, I think the main farm is actually down here at the ranch house. So this is the actual farm. And you've got your pickup truck, you've got your workshop, various bits of equipment lying around, feed, seed and fertilizer. Obviously this is in new farmer mode, so obviously you got starting equipment and stuff. On multiplayer it will be a little bit different because you start the game in farm manager or start from scratch mode. So you won't have the starting equipment available. That is something we'll have to buy, as well as picking our location on the map. But you can see there is equipment here. We've got a header. And then in the building over here, got combine, got tractors. Now, I have actually already kind of had a hunt round this map during a live stream. So obviously there's the irrigation pivots required, which allow you to fertilize fields. Okay, there's a bunch of those located on fields. And again, down at another, looks like farm location here on the map. But yeah, big 4X map, ladies and gents. If I zoom out, see the train over there. There's the farm, obviously, that I've just come from. And it's just a big, wide open farming map. All the fields are sort of irregular in shape. There's a couple of squarish ones here. But most of them are pretty irregular, but they're all pretty much side by side. There's not a lot of room between the fields. Not a lot of areas to get sort of bundled into. And as you can see from the map, there's another house there. We've got corn dryer there, your train station, your sell points over there. Again, you've got storage bins there. Most of your sell points are going to be at the top here, I think. Seed buy station, anhydrous, fertilizer, animal dealer, pioneer seed, again, silos, Phelps City elevator, general store. You got your workshop and your vehicle shop. But pretty much on this map, all the kind of selling is going to be done by loading up the train and sending the train off. Sending the train off to different locations. There's not any productions on this map. It is literally just for people that want to do farming, want to work fields. And I suppose get into animals. You will be able to get into animals and place animal pens. But yeah, you can see that the map is pretty much just big fields to work on with your friends in multiplayer. And this is, like I say, this is River Bottom, Missouri. It's a 4X map. This map is not on the mod hub, the Giants mod hub. And it does come with a load of requirements to download a lot of additional mods. I will stress that. Okay. It does come with a whole folder of mods that you have to download to get all the buildings, all the various elements that you see on the map actually to load in the game, which is a negative, because that does mean that, you know, people that don't want to download lots of mods, you're not going to be able to play this map, or certainly not the map as it looks on my screen now, if you leave out all the buildings and everything. So yeah, I just wanted to give people a quick look at this map, and obviously you can pause the video on the map screen and have a look at it for yourself. There's no additional crops apart from alfalfa. Alfalfa is the only additional crop. Obviously, red beets, carrots, and parsnip will not exist if we don't have the premium DLC installed on the server. So again, for the people that don't own the premium DLC, that's going to cut out 3 potential crops we can play with. But there's the kind of the map. Growth cycle, if you're playing with seasons, is pretty standard. There's nothing really in that one. So that's the first map that I've downloaded, the 4X map. We'll now go and load up the second map. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the second map that we're going to take a look at. First thing I like about this map is the lovely farmhouse. Proper farmhouse you can enter and sort of play around with, which is cool. And then obviously vehicle garage over here with no vehicle in it. Even got a little basketball hoop, look. But yeah, this is our house. We had gates. Jump over those. But yeah, there's your house. So obviously the first thing you'll notice on this map is there is a little bit more of a sort of lived in feel. There is a little bit of a town located on this map. Okay, and I'm down here at the town. And again, you've got your various different sell points, vehicle store, fertilizer. Okay, again though, you've got your cow barn there. Again, you've got tractors, various bits of kit scattered around the map, which is a bit weird. Ethanol plants, fairgrounds. So you got some sell points around the map. But obviously, when you look at the map compared to River Bottom, Missouri, it's not full of fields. There are quite a lot of just big open spaces where there is nothing. Just grass, basically. And the fields, although, like I say, this is a 4X map, none of the fields are really, really incredibly massive. They're all sort of fairly regular sized. I think the biggest field on the map is probably 144 here. But they're all pretty manageable. So the field sizes are still manageable by a single player. Okay, so if you are on a multiplayer server with not a lot of people, you're not going to get overwhelmed and swamped by just massive fields which you're going to be grinding on for days and days and days. Because all these fields are fairly manageable. You've also got some additional crops. You've got silage corn, alfalfa, narrow soybeans, and rye. This map, however, is not compatible with the premium DLC. So if you try to load it up with the red beets, carrots, etc., parsnips, it doesn't like it. It crashes. Okay, so that is one downside, negative to this map. But as you can see, fairly extensive road network running around it with roads. There is AI traffic on the map that does sort of drive around a route, but then a lot of these other roads that you can see, they're kind of the yellow roads are the actual sort of traffic roads where the AI traffic drives. The grey roads I will show you as we drive around are basically more like tracks. So what I'll do is I'll just take you on a little drive just to give you a bit of an indicator of what you see when you go off the main road, off the yellow track. Got an anhydrous plant over here. Why are you in my way? Stupid car. Now I need to find a track. Oh, there's an airport on this map as well, by the way. A little, like, airfield. Where, there, I believe there is a plane that flies around the map. Periodic times. I don't know whether it takes off, lands, or what it does, but I'm pretty sure I've seen it. AI traffic is making my life a nightmare. This truck takes some getting up to speed as well. As you can see, there is like these just big open areas. Now, when you turn off the main road, you end up on basically these weird tracks. And I don't know if you notice, but on these weird tracks, there seems to be these great big ditches on either side of the... I mean, the road is clearly just painted. It's just painted texture. Same as you get in the build menu when you go into landscaping and painting. It's literally just gravel. So it's not a road. But yeah, the landscaping is a little bit weird. In certain places, it really is like quite steep either side of the thing. Obviously, you've got gates to get into the fields. And you're supposed to obviously use the gated entries to get into parts of the map, into fields and into areas where you're working. But yeah, it does make it a little bit awkward when you're trying to drive around anywhere, because like I say, you've got these big dips and hollows everywhere. Now, I noticed it mostly when I was on kind of driving around on my stream on like this side of the map, coming down here and driving up through the middle of the map. There was a lot of weird things. So, because yeah, you've got like another track down here. I mean, it's not so bad at the moment, although again, there is quite a dip there. I just feel like it could have done with a bit more, I wouldn't say love and attention, but certainly some of these, like where obviously these gravel paths have been put in and these tracks, just could have done with a bit more time in just with the smoothing tool to blend it in, blend these ditches in a bit, so you haven't got these like steep vertical hills everywhere. But it is, yeah, it's certainly a lot different from the Missouri map. This map, because like I say, you haven't got great big jumbo ginormous fields. All the fields are still pretty manageable size for an individual. So if you are playing in multiplayer, there's nothing to stop you still from, you know, individual farmers going off and working different fields. Whereas I think with River Bottom, Missouri, all the players are going to have to be sort of focused on like one field. And I think this map also gives you the slight benefit of being able to use different sized equipment. You can have small stuff, you can have medium-sized stuff, you can have big stuff. Because, like I say, you've got a variety in field sizes. But there is also then, like I say, a lot of dead ground. But maybe that's a good thing, because then that obviously allows you the opportunity to put in placeables, put in productions, because again, it is a little bit minimalistic on that side of things. And but you do have like the little town area over here, but again, there's still plenty of areas there where there's not a lot of stuff. But much like with River Bottom, Missouri, though, this map does come with quite a lot of baggage. in the fact that there's a lot of mods to download alongside the map. And I'm talking like several gigabytes of mods to get all the buildings, all the sheds, all the silos, all the decorations on the map. They're all like extras that you have to download. Otherwise, you just get a pretty blank map with just fields on it. If you don't do it, same as, and I'm a little bit concerned by that, because again, I wonder if that will distract and deter people from wanting to play if they have to download tons of mods that aren't necessarily things you're going to interact with a lot. Like, you know, it's a bit different when you're asking people to download tractors and equipment to actually play with. When you're just asking people to download a building that you might one day drive past and not really notice, seems a bit of a strange thing to do. And also, for anybody who's not terribly PC savvy and PC literate, like some people, it does make it a bit harder just to jump in and play the game. And you're going to have somebody help you download all the mods and install them correctly. And again, I want to try and remove that barrier as much as possible. I want to make my servers sort of open and friendly. There's the plane up there, look. It's a bit blurry on my screen. So yeah, this is Tahitian County, ladies and gents. 4X map. And again, I'll give you a chance to pause the screen at this point and have a bit of a look for yourself at how the fields and map is laid out. It is a 4X map, like I say. And like I say, weirdly, you don't start owning any fields. That's another thing I did notice. Even in New Farmer, which I'm in, you don't own any land to begin with. And land prices, very expensive. Very expensive out the gate. You know? So yeah, that's the second map, ladies and gents. Right, I will now go and load up the third map. Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to the third and final map that I'm looking at in this video. This map is called Backroads County, and it is available on the Giants mod hub. I have loaded this map up in New Farmer mode, in Farm Manager mode, so we do not own any land at the start, but as you can see, it is a 4X map. Again, there are some squarish fields, but there are also a lot of sort of irregular ones. There are no additional crops on this map, apart from, obviously, it is premium DLC compatible. So there is that. Interestingly, in new Farm Manager mode, field 64 starts as a carrot field. Field 63 starts as a sunflower field. Now, in New Farmer mode, when you load up the game in New Farmer, this starts as a grass field because you own it and the farm. And this, field 64, is just a big concrete area for putting down additional placeables. So it's interesting that the fields are slightly different depending on which mode of the game you load it up in. So obviously for the server, we're probably going to find this, where we're going to end up with 2 fields of crops on the map, wherever we choose to be located. Unfortunately, that area of land, if it is fields, is 2 million, nearly 2 million in bucks. Expensive. And of course, I'm not allowed to open any doors, because I do not own the land. Which could make it a bit interesting getting access to farm equipment. But weirdly and strangely, all the equipment is still here in Farm Manager mode. So you've got a plough, you've got a roller, you've got a baler, stone picker, you've got your mowing units, okay? Over in this shed here, we've got a truck and trailer, we've got harvester and header. We've got 2 Massey Ferguson tractors. Okay. Over in the cow shed, over here, we have got a TMR mixer. Mixing TMR. And obviously this is going to be the area where you have your cows. Again. Now there is an area up above, which I can't get into because obviously can't open the doors. Let me just fix that so I can buy the land real quick. And then be able to open the doors. So I want to own that. There we go. So up here, obviously we have an area for delivering stuff. We have an area for collecting stuff. And then we've got an area here where we can drop stuff. I'm assuming this is like a bale storage, bale shed. And what you could technically do, I'm guessing, if you have square bales, is you can drop them through that hatch in the ceiling into your TMR mixer and mix your TMR. You do have liquid fertilizer storage tank. You do have a stainless steel fertilizer bin. You also have a seed bin for seeding. Over here, you have got your windrower and your telehandler. Okay. And then you've got another shed over here in which you've got your sprayer, cultivator, case magnum with planter, auger wagon, and an Amazoni seeder on a John Deere 7R. Nice tractor. There's another aeroplane, look, on the map. But yeah, again, I've had a look round this map. You've got your silos, sawmills. So you have got your productions built in, which I would expect of a Giants mod hub map, because Giants are pretty strict on making sure you have got items placed on the map before they will pass it through to the mod hub for players to download. Again, you've got trains, sell points up here, feed and grain. You've got a diner. In the middle, you got your animal dealer, but again, it's still very much a sort of blank canvas of a map, in which, again, sell points, productions, you're going to need to buy and place your own. There aren't loads of them, and again, you've got a garage up here. You've got your pressure washer. And again, you've got your workshop for repairing. Here, you've got your little pickup truck. Over here. Take this for a quick drive. Give you a bit of a feel for what the map is like. Drive out the yard, which has some lovely nice lights. And then you will notice this with this map. And this is probably, I wouldn't say necessarily say a drawback. But again, it can be a problem for some people on some systems. There's a heck of a lot of trees. And the map author has used lots of trees to break up areas of the map, separate areas of the map. And that can have a big performance impact. That can have a huge performance impact. And again, you've got obviously the strange ditches, making it not quite as easy to get into fields as you would like. But yeah, lots of tall trees. So if you want to do logging, there's always the option on this map, because there's lots of wood areas. I just think it makes visibility a lot harder when you're trying to circle round to look at things, and you're always getting obscured by trees. You know? Got sawmill over here. And a road that leads to it. Logs everywhere. Nice little setup. It's a lot of trees. Again, like I say, if you want to get in, if we want to get into logging and stuff on the next multiplayer server and do a bit of tree chopping, this map works out very well for that. I think you will agree. So fields seem reasonable. Again, not all squares and rectangles and boring. You're a little bit different. I mean, there are some squares. People have used broken up areas of land and put in multiple fields rather than having one large field. But yeah, the map is obviously not flat. It does have contours, it does have hills, does have slopes, which again I feel is always nice. Got the animal dealer over there. And again, I think, like I say, as you're driving around looking at some of these fields, they don't look overly intimidating. So again, if you do find yourself like on a multiplayer server by yourself one evening or something, you're not going to be struggling to get stuff done, you know, which I feel with some of the other maps I've looked at, some of the other 4X maps I've looked at, and some of the even bigger maps I've looked at, can be a bit of a problem if, you know, you end up for whatever reason by yourself a lot. You know, if you're playing on the server at different times to other people, it can make getting tasks done quite difficult. But yeah, it's not a bad map, I don't think, this. So you've got different areas. So it's not flat. Like I say, there's plenty of trees. I'll actually work out and see where I am. I went down here, went up here, I've gone along here. I'm lost. Can't find myself on the map. Oh, I'm over here, look. I'm over here. So yeah, there are a lot of fields as well, you know, which again is something I like. I don't like 4X maps where, you know, you load up a 4X map and there's like 10 fields. You know, there's like 70 odd fields on this map, which again is great for multiplayer because there's going to be lots of contracts to do. You know, cultivating, fertilizing galore. Loads of fertilizing jobs, harvesting jobs, ploughing, sowing, spraying. Lots of work to be getting on with, keeping yourselves busy. I mean, obviously, with land prices being what they are, although the map author's done a fairly decent job, because like the big, large forestry areas, he's actually broken up into smaller squares, which are actually not too bad a price. Rather than having that as like one plot of land, which a lot of people would have done, he's actually split it up really, really well. And that field, that like the starting farm area, is probably the most expensive land you're going to buy in the whole map. On the whole map, I would think. Your initial outlay for that, because everything else is divided up fairly well. It doesn't look too badly priced, some of it. £1 million for the really big plot. But then, you know, you've got other things. But yeah, it's a nice map. And like I say, no extra crops. So it's just basic game products, which means obviously no need to have any special kind of specialized mod support or anything like that. Because I know, like with the premium DLC stuff, the red beets, carrots, and parsnips, the in-game stuff that Giants gave us with that DLC is really small and pathetic, and therefore on big fields would make it an absolute nightmare to do those crops. Whereas I think by only having standard crops, and again, it's a different as well when map authors add their own fill types, because again, their naming conventions and stuff can be such that they don't always necessarily play nice with other mods that you use on other maps that are supposed to do the same crops. And again, I don't really want to have to mess around with that. Another advantage to this map, I think, is that you don't have to download 10 gigabytes of additional mods to play it. You know, it's literally one map. Everything's included in the map. You download the map, you're good to go. Unlike the other two maps I've looked at in this video, where you have to download an entire folder of additional mods and stuff like that. So literally, for players one, if I was to put this on them, I could put this map just as it is on the multiplayer server. Players could download one file and we would be good to play. We could play quite happily until we reach the point where we start to miss some of our favourite mods like GPS and things like that, and then we want to add those to the server and add those to the game. But yeah, that's basically it. There's literally no requirement to install anything else or add anything else. We can pretty much use whatever mods we want after that. Compatibility, it's not going to have any issues with any mods that I'm likely to put on the server and play with. And I just feel this is probably the best of the three, although best of the three maps I've looked at. Although, as I have said in a live stream, in one of my Farm Sim multiplayer streams the other evening to my multiplayer colleagues, if I could take the best bits of each map, each of the three maps, combine them to make a fourth new map, that fourth map would probably be the one I would go for. Because like I say, if you could have like the town, the lived-in built-up area from the Tahitian map on here, that would be great. If you could get rid of some of the trees areas and have some of the slightly bigger, more interconnected fields from the Missouri map, that would be kind of cool and nice. And also it would improve performance quite a lot for people on lowest. I mean, I'm all right running on an i9 14900K running a 4090 fully water cooled obviously system with 128 gig of RAM and all that other nice stuff. But I do feel maybe for some other players on lesser spec machines, this map could be a bit of a frame killer, performance killer. They might have to lower their settings a bit more than they would maybe like to play it at a decent frame rate. You know, you certainly want to be playing it above 30 30 FPS or higher. You don't want to be any lower than that. Otherwise that gets really jarring and frustrating, I would think. I mean, I'm alright. I tend to be in the 50s, the mid 50s, low 50s tends to be where it goes a bit pear-shaped for me in terms of the frame rate. But I don't tend to drop below 50. But then again, I'm zoomed out quite a bit. It also will vary the frame. I mean, there's the store where you get your vehicles. That's quite a long way, by the way. I did do this on stream. Your store is over here. So your farm is over here. So when you're buying equipment and you're transporting it backwards and back to the farm, quite a long way. It's quite a long drive just driving to the store. You forget that on a 4X map, how far that is. That's part of the fun. And it enables us to use things like low loaders and stuff like that, which is something we don't really get to use on, or it's not something I use particularly a lot on standard maps for transporting equipment. But yeah, it's kind of nice. So, like I say, this is Backroads County, which is on Giants Mod Hub. So it's an official map supported by Giants because they've tested it. Their mod testing team have been through it, not found any problems with it. They've released it onto PC and Mac. Obviously, there are no 4X maps on consoles. So console players, sorry, you are unfortunately not able to play multiplayer with me at this junction in time until Giants can find a way to allow 4X maps and script mods on console platforms. Maybe that's something that will come in the next edition of Farm Sim, who knows. But yeah, it's like I say, interesting map. Interesting map. And like I say, it's weird that in the different game modes, these fields start with different crops. Especially as, one of the things I did notice in the like equipment list is that you do not have a sunflower or corn header. You certainly don't have any carrot equipment, so I'm not terribly sure how I'm supposed to harvest the two starting fields. But again, you have got these ditches, by the way, and that's again something you kind of have to pay attention to and look out for. Some of the fields do have these like ditches to drive into, so you need to find the entrance, do some landscaping and leveling. But yeah, it's interesting that you get like a cow barn to start with on the map. I haven't checked out what the capacity is on the cow barn, how many cows it holds and things like that. It's interesting that you've got a couple of silos, purchasables for like your fertilizers and things. Buying your fertilizers, that's always nice to have. You've got a bale storage shed over here. Your silo, obviously here, which currently has wheat in it. You've got fuel truck refill there. And like I say, you've got your equipment here. Got other, obviously, quite a nice starting fleet of equipment. So even though you don't own the land when you first load in, you do have all the vehicle stuff, which is nice. And so there's quite a few of them. So yeah, this is the third map. So people, I hand it over to you guys now. You've seen all three maps. Let me know which is your favourite. And the one with the most votes will become my multiplayer map in the future. So ladies and gents, on that note, I'm going to bid you farewell. Say goodbye. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you soon with another video. Cheerio for now, everybody.